Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here this Friday morning. Appreciate you joining me. If you will, like, share, and or comment on the post. Anything, thumbs up, something. And then we'll look at one verse today, chapter 16, verse 14. Um, as they go out again, the previous verse told us they went out where the women were gathered by the riverside, and they were again there gathered with the women, and some of the women who had come together. And verse 14 tells us one who heard us was a woman named Lydia from the city of Thyatira, a seller of purple goods, who was a worshiper of God. The Lord opened her heart to pay attention to what was said by Paul. Great story. Great story of someone coming to know the Lord, a lady by the name of Lydia. She is a seller, she is a business lady, and she sells purple fabric. And you may think, well, that's a pretty narrow field. Well, it was, but it was a good field because purple fabric was loved and adored by the Romans. Purple was the color that was made up the toga, the outer garments, the cloak, whatever, of the royalty of the Romans. And so, like even still today, people like to have what the celebrities are wearing, and the celebrities in their case wore purple, and so the people still they wanted to wear purple, and uh, even really to this day, I guess purple has kind of been a signifier of royalty. And so Lydia is in that business, and it's evidently a good business. Just the pieces we can put together. She was evidently a wealthy woman, and had some means to herself, and she ends up, we see, hosting the Paul and his group, and ultimately, if you get down to verse 40 of this chapter, we find out she hosts the whole church, and she is from, the Bible tells us, the city of Thyatira. Um, she is traveling for business or has, a home in both places. Um, and again, maybe Thyatira, which was a kind of a big city that we know had purple dyes. Maybe that's where she made her cloth or had her cloth made, and she maybe went to Philippi to ship the products, to send them out. And again, Philippi would have been a large city and would have needed, um, would have used a lot of her material. And so, as they are gathered there and they are meeting, it says that the Lord opened her heart to pay attention to what was said by Paul. And she comes to know the Lord. The Lord opened her heart. And then again, we ultimately see that she invites Paul and the crowd to stay at her house to do that. And the lesson that I would like for us to walk away with from that verse today is Paul didn't know Lydia from anybody that we can tell, but he just simply preached the gospel, and we have a influential woman who comes to know the Lord. And then we're going to learn as we continue to work through Acts, we see just how influential she is, how big of an impact she made on the church, what an asset she was to the church, to the New Testament church. And I think the lesson that for us today is to that we never know who God's dealing with. We never know. We may think they're insignificant. We may not think they have much to contribute. We may not think we're accomplishing anything. But we never know whose heart's going to be open to the gospel. And so we keep preaching and we keep telling people about Jesus. I'm pretty sure that the person who led Spurgeon to the Lord, or led Billy Graham to the Lord, or Charles Stanley to the Lord, probably had no idea uh, the impact that those men would end up having for the kingdom. But they were just simply faithful and carried the gospel. That's the challenge for you and I today. Wherever we go, we may not even know on this side of eternity the impact, but wherever we go, we take advantage of every opportunity to share the gospel with every person we meet. You think about it. Have a good day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.